Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus, our special digital-only edition. Imitation is the best form of flattery. We've all heard of this famous line by Oscar Wilde, but most of us may have failed to truly appreciate the sentiment. And this is where we can learn from China. The Chinese have not only understood the wisdom behind these words, they have made a business model out of it. The most profitable and efficient way to make cash. It's called C2C, Copy to China. A business model that thrives on counterfeiting products by creating fake copies as good as the original. Well, almost. Think of any product right now, no matter how big or small, no matter its cost or its features, if it exists, there's a 99% chance that it has a Chinese copy. The degree of copying may vary, but the Chinese version, I can assure you, will look as good as the original. The imitation truly is sincere, and I'm afraid this is beginning to sound like a sales pitch for Chinese products. I assure you it's not. And I'm not talking about ripping off phones or watches here. I'm talking about the big stuff, big business. China is the world's largest manufacturing hub. And this copycat culture is all pervasive. It is the most brazen in the automobile sector, in China's car manufacturing industry. And before I tell you how, here are some quick facts. 1. China has the biggest car market in the world. It became the biggest in the year 2009. It has remained the biggest ever since. 2. China has more brands and models of cars than any other country in the world. It will take you a day, perhaps, to count all of them. And 3. China has the cheapest cars in the world, cheaply priced and cheaply copied. Do you see this car? I'm sure the very sight of it is getting you nostalgic. The Maruti Suzuki 800 has that effect, most people in India. But the one on your screen is not an 800. This is called a Jiangnan TT, the cheapest car in China. A rip-off of the good old Maruti Suzuki 800. This one costs just 20,000 yuan, that's $3,000, close to 2 lakh Indian rupees. It is based on the same model, equipped with the same engine, has the same features, gives a similar power output. The banditry, I must say, is quite brazen. And it is tailored to suit your convenience. If you're bold and adventurous, you can go for this one. Diablo VT, a straight rip-off of the Lamborghini Diablo. If you're interested in bonding with family and friends, I suggest you go for this one. The Chang'an Lingshuan, a blatant clone of the Toyota Innova Krista, only that it's much cheaper. If you're somebody looking for a driving-induced trance, may I suggest the Geely GE, the Chinese imitation of the Rolls-Royce Phantom. It has the same large front, the same headlamps, and the same spirit of ecstasy. Only the expiry date is Chinese. And if you want a sports car but cannot afford it, I suggest you consider the Suzuki Eagle Carry. Does this look familiar? I'm sure it does. In the front, it resembles the Ferrari, and at the back, it resembles the Porsche. You get the best of both the worlds in one car, and you won't have to burn a hole in your pocket. I could give you a lot more examples. I could go on with this one, but the list is never ending because almost every car in China is a copy, which brings us to a question. How do the Chinese get away with such blatant and brazen copying? Is this copycat culture even legal? Well, here's the thing. There is no international copyright law for the automobile industry. But there are international agreements which protect originality. They require countries to recognize each other's intellectual property laws. And it's a complex process anyway. Expecting China to respect laws is asking for too much. Expecting China to respect international laws is asking for even more. So international car makers do not even bother taking Chinese car makers to court. Well, some of them do and fail. In 2004, Honda tried to sue China's Xuanguan Auto for copying a vehicle. It failed. In 2008, Fiat sued China's Great Wall Motors for copying their design. They even got the copycat car banned in Europe. But the sales in China did not stop. We are in 2020 now. A virus is spreading faster than the speed of all the cars I just mentioned. And it has decimated the global automobile industry. Most manufacturing plants have been shut, supply chains have been disrupted, showrooms have been sealed, sales have collapsed, markets are bleeding, but none of this is happening in China. China right now is an oasis for car makers in the Wuhan virus desert. The automobile industry is back on track. Demand is steadily returning, sales figures are reviving, global car makers are looking at China with hopeful eyes. And I have some figures for you. Toyota, listen to this, sold over 172,000 vehicles in China last month, 172,000. Honda sold more than 142,000 units. 142,000, and Japanese car maker Mazda sold more units than it had in June 2019. Right now, for these car makers and many more, China is their best bet for a revival. And Chinese cars are going global. Take the example of the Haval, the leading SUV brand of China's Great Wall Motors. It is steadily spreading internationally. It has already established new franchisees in Russia, South Africa and Australia. And if you live in any of these countries, the Chinese are coming for you with their copycat cars. Now, I understand that this may seem a bit strange. We are worrying about business at a time when people are worrying about their lives, which they should. But the harsh reality is this: China is waging an economic war, making profit out of this pandemic, and we are doing, frankly, very little to stop it. We are still hooked to Chinese products, to cheaper manufacturing, to cheaper copies of things we cannot afford. We need to be in touch with this economic reality, and we need to do something about it, more importantly. Start by saying no to Chinese products as much as you can. I would have ended by telling you a joke about them, but I'm afraid it won't last.